So in this video, I'll talk about the relational database that is underneath the whole game. If you're not familiar with relational databases, you should read up. I'll provide a few links in the description. So even in the day of NoSQL, there's still a powerful tool. sqlite is the database this program is using because it's simple and it's built into Python. It does have its weaknesses, but they won't affect us here in this game. Python could connect to larger databases like MySQL, Postgres, or even Oracle, but for this type of game it's not necessary. It's the database that ties together the players, their skills, the teams, and all the stats. So we'll go over each of the tables. Even if you've never seen SQL before, you should be able to follow along. So first we have the player table. The player has a player ID. This is just used internally. It's the primary key that guarantees that we have a way to reference any individual player in the database, even if two players have the exact same name. Each player gets a first name, a last name, a jersey number, and then a team ID, and the team connects them to the team that they're on. It's possible for players to have just one name in our program, but because the names are generated automatically and randomly, that doesn't happen in the current game. We also have a teams table. The teams have a team ID, our unique pointer to a team. Each team has a city name and a team name, and then they have a wins, losses, and ties. Our database abstraction still doesn't have the concept of seasons. It's something we desperately need to add. So back to the top. Let's look at batting stats. Batting stats, you have at-bats, plate appearances, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, caught stealing, and so on. And then you have a batting ID. And I'll explain how that's connected to players and teams in a moment. We also have pitching stats, like outs, strikeouts, walks, at-bats, earned runs, hits, home runs, hit batters, pickoffs, win, losses, and saves, and then you get a pitching ID. So then there's three sets of skills. There's batting, defensive, and pitching skills. Not all of these have an effect on the probabilities in the game yet, but they will, or I'll take them out. For batting, there's power, eye, contact, speed. The first three actually affect the current game probabilities. The rest don't. There's clutch, base running, bunting. For the defensive skills, there's fielding, throwing, catching, and clutch. For pitching, there's accuracy, stamina, recovery, and clutch. Not all of these things may make it into the final product, and we may add new things. The defensive and pitching skills have no effect right now at all. Still a work in progress. And so each of these skills has a player ID, so they reference directly to a player table. Each player will have a set of these. Even if they're not a pitcher, they'll still have pitching skills. So let's look at player stats. So there's two tables that tie together the player stats with the players, and they're called player stats and then team stats. So in the player stats you have a player ID, a batting ID, and a pitching ID. That ties together a player with his statistics, basically. Similarly, the team ID ties together a team with the team batting stats and pitching stats. It's not as simple as just making the team stats be the sum of all the players currently on the team, because during the season you could have trades and you want to know the performance of the players on your individual team, not the players that are on your team and how they might have hit for another team before. And finally, you notice there's a season table, but this has no effect yet. It's something yet to be implemented. And that's all for this video. Peace.